Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Star Wars Stuff Podcast, the Mandalorian pre-show, part 2. We just ended our part 1 with General Kenobi, and it was fantastic. Everyone kind of chimed in with comments and kind of participated here. So drop a comment, subscribe to our channel, definitely like the video as well, because we want to do these as much as we possibly can. Also, I want to give General Kenobi a shout out. He always comes through for us in the clutch, and this is where you can actually find him on YouTube. General Kenobi's Bunker. I know he does a show every Wednesday, and right now he's doing a Friday recap show of the Bad Batch, and he's also on Instagram for General.Kenobi's.Bunker. So check him out for sure. I also want to, at the top of the show, recognize our awesome love and support that we get from our patrons. I know my internet signal is kind of bad right now, but yeah, on the purple tier, we have Chris Simpson, Kevin Leininger, Devin McCaffrey, Drew Peters, Sean Greathouse, and Zach Netzel. On the red tier, we have Fenrir526, Maya Morris, Texas Vader 76. On the black tier, we have Maka Tautala, Nathan Shank, Evan Opaker, and Liam McCallion. Thank you so very much. So if you are watching us, if you are in the chat, make sure to like, of course, comment, subscribe, and also give us your comments, your thoughts on today's news that we got. Some pretty big stuff here. I know we talked about it a bit in the pre-show part 1, but just to go over it again, if you don't already know, here's the big news. There's a Star Wars shakeup. Kevin Feige and Patty Jenkins movie shelved. Taika Waititi looking to star in his own film, which is wild. It kind of doesn't make sense. This is kind of out of left field. Kevin Feige not doing a Star Wars film. It makes sense because, of course, he's so busy, so many projects on his plate. But then you look at Patty Jenkins, her movie shelved. That makes a lot of sense. It feels like it was never really truly something that Patty Jenkins wanted to focus on. We all know that she wanted to do Wonder Woman Part 3, focus on that, do her Cleopatra film that she wanted to work on. And then Taika Waititi, we all knew he was granted a Star Wars film that was talked about during the investment call. And after Thor Love and Thunder didn't do so great, it kind of got shelved, it seems like. But with the news today, he's going to be starting his own Star Wars film, potentially. And I think kind of the worried aspect for Star Wars fans, it kind of, I hope they don't do this kind of thought is that this might be what gets announced at Star Wars Celebration. We've talked about Damon Lindelof doing a film or films set after the sequel trilogy. That's what the rumor was. It looks like that's potentially not going to happen now. It still could. We don't know for sure if this is going to take over. This was reported to us by Variety, and they are one of the Hollywood trades, and they do get stuff wrong from time to time, but this news is an exclusive for them, so I'm not quite sure um, if this is the film to look forward to being announced at Celebration. I hope not. Also, in other news, big panel news, we got panels for the Lucasfilm Studio Showcase, and they'll be streaming to 2 other stages, which they typically do, to the Twin Sun stage and the Galaxy stages. The location is the Celebration stage, and the blurb is Star Wars Celebration returns, launching with a must-see showcase that will kick the weekend's festivities into hyperdrive. Lucasfilm's current crop of live-action filmmakers will be joined by special guests, and we were at the Lucasfilm panel, most of us, I think, from the Star Wars Stuff podcast, and they had stuff from the whole Lucasfilm umbrella being released, and it was kind of surprising to see like stuff like Willow and of course Indiana Jones, which I think if you're a Star Wars fan, you're probably an Indiana Jones fan as well. And to see Harrison Ford and then John Williams come back on stage was magical. It was super huge. And this Lucasfilm panel, you kind of wonder, okay, well, what do they have locked and loaded? What's in the slate? And at that time, we did know about Willow. There was a project that was released called Blood and Bone, or talked about, announced, that Lucasfilm has since canceled, which was outside of Star Wars, Willow, Indiana Jones. And are they going to announce something different like that at the Lucasfilm panel? There's a little bit of criticism just due to the fact that we're at Star Wars Celebration and we're talking about other franchises, technically. And it seemed like the Willow series didn't go off that great and really wasn't as well received as they wanted. I didn't see it. I don't think anyone on the podcast really saw it. No, I didn't talk to anyone about Willow on the podcast. So it'll be interesting to see what they announce. I know there's speculation that there's possibly going to be an Obi-Wan series for season 2, possibly being announced. So hopefully that's something that we do get, because the way that series ended, we're going to get possibly Liam Neeson in the show, but Liam Neeson has also been in the news saying that Star Wars has gotten kind of watered down. There's so many shows, but he was in Obi-Wan Kenobi season 1. And of course, there's also rumors that there's going to be a Boba Fett film dropping. So none of that is really leaked, other than that one kind of odd story that we reported on, that someone took a picture of some marketing material, and that was kind of strange in and of itself, because that's kind of gone dormant since then. So the Boba Fett season 2 stuff, we don't know, but hopefully this Lucasfilm panel can kind of shed light on what the plan is, and the other stories of there actually being some type of plan in place, which I think is music to all of our ears, is great. But with the news today, with Feige and Patty Jenkins' film being shelved, doesn't make sense if they do have a specific plan and they're moving a certain direction. Although Taika Waititi's film is kind of a wild card type film, which we all knew in the beginning that was going to be something on the periphery of what Star Wars is going to do with the main storylines and whatever we eventually get with the Mandalorian seasons. And I think we're going to get something pretty unique and interesting. And it feels like Dave Filoni is really spearheading the future of Star Wars. Like it or not, being in TV, Dave Filoni is really the person that is leading Star Wars to wherever it's going to go. And I think we're going to go to a pretty interesting part, and a part of Star Wars that we're all wanting to see in future seasons of Ahsoka and future seasons of The Mandalorian. And for him being a top level creative executive now, it's wonderful. It feels like he's the person they funnel in all the creative ideas to and through. So I'm really hoping that is the case, and we do get more films, because I've talked about this report so many times, that you've heard it so many times, that Disney Plus isn't really the moneymaker now that the films could potentially be. And Lucasfilm right now is in a state of almost transition in a way, because we went from Disney Plus to being the main thing, to them maybe trying to lean harder on the films. And that's something I think that they need to do as a business and lean on those films simply because of revenue. They need the money. The subscriptions for Disney Plus, I think that's plateaued. I think everyone that's going to get Disney Plus has subscribed, and hopefully that doesn't seriously damage the health of Disney Plus. But films is where Star Wars needs to live. It needs to be. We need to get hyped up about the films. Of course, they can have a lot bigger budget. The track record with the films for Disney isn't as great as you'd want it, but of course, the sequel trilogy was kind of rushed into from a certain point of view. And if you watched our pre-show part 1, I talked about the fact that that was kind of needed because you had the big three. You wanted Han, Luke, and Leia to be in the sequel trilogy for them to anchor that trilogy, but it became what it became. So hopefully there is a plan in place and we get something spectacular leading into the future. And the comment section was pretty cool in the previous show because people were coming up with ideas and different scenarios and stuff. And there's so many ideas that Lucasfilm can do for live action TV shows. So, also, I just want to say before I get into this, if you're watching us on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, drop us a comment. Tell us what you're thinking, what your theory is for tonight's show. What do you want to see? What do you think is going to happen? Let us know. Also, if you're here for the first time, subscribe to the channel, like, comment. It helps out the podcast, and thank you. So, one of the big possibilities I think for a live action film that's really something that probably should have been in production is a Cal Kestis film. Something in regards to Cal Kestis, because you cast Cameron Monaghan as Cal Kestis, and he's a legitimate actor. He's a working actor. And you have him in a video game, and we all know the video game industry is bigger than the film industry. And Star Wars needs a film. What better film to do than maybe, I wouldn't say instead of making it a trilogy, do a film as the third part of that grander story for the video games. You can still do the video game aspect of it, but I think there's still a way to do a live action film. I would love to see that. There's so many fans of Fallen Order, of Jedi Survivor, just that whole story. I mean, Order 66 in and of itself, fantastic story. Hey, what's up, Chris? I want to see that. I think everyone wants to see that. And the big question is, why did they push the game release back? I think that's a very interesting kind of study. It's like I think the game was done, but they pushed it back about a month. And now that we do have a little bit more information on Star Wars Celebration, it looks like the sponsor of Star Wars Celebration Live Europe will be Jedi Survivor, which is kind of funny because I mean it's like Star Wars kind of paying the bills for Star Wars Celebration Live. So yeah, that's kind of a breaking news topic that we're going to get some live streaming stuff. I know the report early on was the fact that we're not going to get anything streaming, but you'll get some Celebration show or Star Wars live streaming stuff. I'm not sure if the panels will be streaming. I don't think that's going to be the case. James was trying to tell me that none of the panels streamed, but of course, when you do go out to YouTube, you will see people that took video with their phones and they dropped them on their own channels. I think we are going to attempt that as the podcast, but if they have ushers walking up and down the aisles, it's going to be kind of tough to do that. But we definitely will do coverage after every panel. Once we get out, we'll give our initial thoughts and talk about what we just saw. Hopefully, our minds are blown with the Ahsoka panel, which, if I look through all the graphics here, I have a a graphic for every big panel. So Ahsoka streaming to Twin Suns and Galaxy stages, location celebration stage, joint executive producer Dave Filoni, Jon Favreau, and special guests for an upcoming Disney Plus series look at Ahsoka. So we're all expecting a trailer. We're expecting something big. Hopefully we get. It'd be nice to get a scene or two. Hey, how's it going, Liam? Good morning. Are we there yet? Yeah, we are there. It's 12:53. So I have big hopes and dreams for Ahsoka. I feel like Ahsoka's gonna be prime Dave Filoni. Dave Filoni's fingerprints are gonna be all over it. All the connective tissue to Rebels, Clone Wars, everything that Filoni has done in his career with Star Wars and his career outside of Star Wars has led up to this. And Ahsoka was shot in California at Manhattan Beach Studios. Liam says it's 6:50 here. Well, where I'm at, it's 12:53, and I am almost 100% sure we're gonna get at least some footage or a trailer or something for Ahsoka, which should be mind melting. But of course, we all know Dave Filoni has that track record of being very close to the vest and not wanting to give away spoilers. So that whole aspect of it makes me a little bit nervous, but I feel like we are going to get some type of really awesome trailer. And it's really kind of late in the game now that we don't have some Thrawn news or some Thrawn images or moving pictures here. I know the popular theory is that Lars Mikkelsen will be Thrawn, but we really don't have that official, non-official confirmation that Lars Mikkelsen was on the show. I know Lars Mikkelsen has done some interviews and maybe a little bit of press, and I think he's been asked, and he's said that I'm not involved. I don't know what to tell you, but of course, with these actors that sign the NDAs, they're told certain things. Some actors stay on the side of being very strict with that, and some of them don't. You look at someone like Rosario Dawson, she really doesn't. And it almost feels like she doesn't have that same type of um, that media savvy to where she doesn't give away certain things, because I think one big thing she kind of gave away in an interview was, and I don't think Lucasfilm or Filoni wanted her to say, was the fact that Ahsoka was going to end up being that it was going to air in the fall time, and that was like a big, huge piece of news there that dropped. And way back when Ahsoka was announced to be something that was going to drop at the beginning part of this year, like around April, May timeframe. But of course, it's not. I'd rather them work on it. I'd rather wait. So I'm reading the comments here. So the Sabersmith says, "Evening all, let's go." Yeah, I'm excited. I'm hyped. I'm staying up. Liam McCallion says, "I need to head to work soon, so won't see the episode till after work. Hope we see a Thrawn announcement soon." Yeah, you and me both. The Thrawn announcement, I think we're all waiting on that, and that's kind of the big thing. And we all kind of assume that he's going to be the big bad, the big villain, and one of the driving forces behind the Ahsoka show should be Thrawn, and I think it will be Thrawn. I mean, and you look back at the Mandalorian season 2 when Ahsoka asked the question, "Where's Grand Admiral Thrawn?" That was such a great moment, and that told us, I think, all we needed to really kind of know for us to know that, okay, Thrawn is going to be ushered in here. We all know Thrawn's a huge character, big time character, and I think people want to cast big time actors in the role, and I think at Filoni's head, he had already casted Thrawn from the get go, but unless, I mean, someone did get asked to play the part and they declined, maybe, I mean, you jump to other actors. But it feels like at this point that Lars Mikkelsen is going to be Thrawn. There's too many reports and stories and just stuff basically online that you can see that points to Lars Mikkelsen having the part. But then you think, okay, if he's going to be a huge part of the show, and you want Thrawn to be the presence that he is, you want to probably cast a big time actor. So that's always kind of on my mind too. And people have always pointed to someone like a Benedict Cumberbatch or someone like a Michael Fassbender, which would be awesome. And I'm thinking Fassbender is coming back to Marvel at some point, so he's in the family. Reading the comments here, making sure there's no spoilers. This isn't too spoilery. The Sabersmith says, the only thing I heard about tonight's episode is that there are some parts that are terrifying. I could see that. If we do end up going to the mines of, I always want to say Moria, but the mines of Mandalore, there could be some aspects of that could be kind of terrifying. And if they do go to Mandalore, we could see someone like maybe a Christopher Lloyd pop up finally. We haven't seen him in any marketing. I don't even think he was on the red carpet for the premiere, which is also interesting. Unless he was there and no one took his picture, or that picture just didn't make its way to me. But yeah, this episode is going to be, from all accounts, is going to be better than the first for this season. And I thought the first episode was pretty good. They jam-packed a lot of stuff into it. And yeah, I'm super excited. That's why I'm staying up. That's why I'm doing these pre-shows, because I'm super hyped. And I really want to talk about this stuff. Liam says, I recently read the Thrawn books and loved them. Yeah, I tried listening to the first book in the trilogy, and it was hard for me to do my delivery job and also listen and keep up with it. There was so much stuff going on. It was kind of hard for me to stay on pace with what was going on in the book, and I just ended up like not listening to it at all, because I was like, there's no way I could continue to listen to this and actually absorb some stuff. So yeah, Chris says maybe a small Ezra cameo. That'd be awesome. I would love that. But I think unless they totally switch, which, I mean, these shows, I guess, are unpredictable now with the fact that we had 2 Mandalorian episodes in the Book of Boba Fett season. I mean, you never know. But to me, the character we're most likely to see is probably Sabine, because she is a Mandalorian. We all know she was cast. They put that right up front. She was at the last celebration. So I'm hoping to see her. More connective tissue to Rebels, Clone Wars. I think we're going to get more stuff. Liam says, I wonder if episode 1 and 2 were ever one episode and they split them out. I think the way Jon Favreau writes is, I think he writes the full story and then he tries to cut it up into 8 episodes. There was an interesting interview that I saw with Jon Favreau in the UK where he brought up the fact that UK television series are usually very, very short, not with many episodes, like 4, 6, 8 episodes. And Jon Favreau wanted to kind of duplicate and mimic that with The Mandalorian, which he is doing. Very short episodes, not that many episodes, 8 episodes for the whole season. So it's always a bummer to hear something like that. As far as what we're used to in America, I know I sound like a pouting American here, but most of our shows are an hour long and have more than 8 episodes. I think The Last of Us actually is going to end after 8 episodes, I believe, with Pedro Pascal. So I'm not sure about that, but The Mandalorian has kind of set itself to be what it is, and that last episode was great, even though it was super short. and we're gonna have to wait and talk about it. Wait a week for every episode. I'm super thrilled. Um, there's just something about the Mandalorian, and I brought it up last podcast too. Um, being asked what was your favorite Star Wars show, TV show, or TV show film, and I got to think actually long and hard on it, and it's for me right now. I know we're doing pre-shows and after shows and podcasts on it, but for me personally, it's The Mandalorian. I mean, it pulls from just about everything in the Star Wars galaxy that we've seen: animation, original trilogy, sequel trilogy, prequel stuff. I mean, it's fantastic the way that they're doing the show with all this connective tissue. The Sabersmith says, "I'm curious about Lloyd's character. I feel like he would make a good like head Mando or Elder Mando, older Mando maybe." Yeah, those are my initial thoughts when he was cast. I was like, man, Christopher Lloyd is up there in age, and if you cast him, he would be something like a maybe part of another sect of Mandalorians that maybe are left behind on Mandalore. You never know. I mean, he might lead his own kind of group of Mandos next to the living waters of Mandalorian when Din Djarin has to either bathe or do whatever he has to do in the living waters to get back in the Children of the Watch crew. Um, maybe we meet him down there. Maybe we don't. I mean, it's. I don't think that's news that's out there really. Liam says we normally get 6 to 10 half-hour episodes for most things here. Yeah, so Favreau's kind of right on the spot there with the show length and the episode number. But yeah, a lot of people here in the States don't like that. They're like, we need hour-long episodes. We need more episodes. And it's like, well, it's Disney Plus. The budget's not spectacularly huge. So we're going to give you 8 30 to 40-minute long episodes. Episode 1 of chapter, or actually episode 1 chapter 9 of season 2 of The Mandalorian was exceptionally long. It was like a movie. We talk about that on the podcast all the time. To maybe see that in the theater with the Crate Dragon battle, and then the screen like goes into IMAX mode, that would be terrific to see in IMAX. And I know at some places around the world, actually, they do screen The Mandalorian. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Craig 3 to the podcast.
Hello.
Excuse me, the head of Lucasfilm is now with the podcast.
Listen, I told the committee I wasn't interested. They sat me down. They said, you're on Star Wars Stuff podcast. I'm like, yes, occasionally. They let me in occasionally. And they said, that's why we know you're ready for this. So I took it.
Nice. So should I put in my 2 weeks tomorrow, or you're bringing me along, or what's the deal?
Sure. Yeah, you're coming along. I'm going to have you in charge of the creature department. I want you to make things that look like you, David. They'll be hideous.
Fantastic.
Straight out of the cantina.
Oh, yeah.
An alien that looks like Colin. Make an alien that has a face, but also a face on their butt. Okay. And that butt face will be Colin.
Interesting.
Yeah. Then we'll have another creature that likes to go around licking toilets and says they taste great. And that's James, right? Because he loves Last Jedi.
Yeah, James might be joining us soon, so I'd be happy to see
Well,
him.
he's going to love his new alien. If any of our fans could draw these creatures up. I could bring them along to the art department. Okay, can we talk about this 3 a.m. insanity?
Yeah, you just woke up, right?
This has got to go. I mean, this is just crazy. Why are they doing this? This isn't. I think HBO and The Last of Us are doing just fine with 9 o'clock on a Sunday night.
Yeah, yeah, I definitely do agree. That makes a lot of sense.
This isn't making sense at this point. Like, they got to do something reasonable. They have a huge show, and they're putting it out at 3 o'clock in the morning. It's just crazy.
Yeah. And I think you hear the argument from them that, oh, well, you could just wait until 8 or whatever, but you can't go on social media at all because you'll just get spoiled.
It's true. Well, they're not having a problem with HBO and Last of Us. So I'm pretty sure if they want to make it Wednesday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, a lot of people are going to be really happy. This is completely unreasonable.
Yeah, I totally agree. As head of Lucasfilm, that's maybe the first change you make.
I mean, look at how well Last of Us is doing, and 8 million views, uh, like in the first day or whatever it was. I mean,
Yeah.
this is just crazy.
Yeah. I don't know how long
I
they'll
mean,
be
so
able to
many
do this.
people wake up. So many people wake up spoiled. And one of the things they talk about is they want everybody to see it at the same time and have these reactions and moments at the same time. Well, you can't, because not many of the people can stay up till 3 o'clock in the morning. And so they wake up,
Yeah.
they might forget, they go online, and they're up. There's a spoiler right in their face.
Yep.
Just make it 9 o'clock Eastern time or 8 o'clock Eastern time. You want your kids to watch it? Make it 8 o'clock or something like that before they go to bed.
Yeah, I'm thinking we need to make a spreadsheet of all the things that need to change and like mail it to Lucasfilm.
No need to mail it to me. As we can see, I'm head of Lucasfilm now.
I can just send you a message.
I'm just gonna have to send memos out to the people below me. I just don't know their names yet.
Well, one of the names is a person I believe by the name of Matt Martin.
He's going first.
Yeah, he released a tweet today that was kind of interesting.
Yeah, I saw that. What was it about again? I'm just waking up. Sorry.
I think it's this right here.
Oh, about not streaming Celebration.
Yeah, so he tweeted out Star Wars Celebration Live is heading to London, so don't believe everything you read on some less reputable sites.
Not for nothing, but why doesn't Lucasfilm just address it? This is why I have to fire everybody. I mean, is it that hard to just have something passed along? Okay, that's not true. We are streaming everything.
Yeah.
I mean, what happens if it's not streaming now? Then he looks like it.
I know, right? What if Lucasfilm makes that change? But I don't know. Yeah. So I don't think the panels will be streaming, but they'll do the Star Wars show stage stuff when they bring out guests and do that whole thing that they've always done. So, but yeah, the Sabersmith here says season finale of The Last of Us is next week, so all the hype will be on Mando and the Bad Batch.
Finally, a decent episode of the Bad Batch. I watched. Now, I had been getting up to watch that show, but it's been so lackluster. So I watched 3 episodes yesterday. I just feel like they don't quite know where to go with this show. I like the characters. I
Yeah.
like what I'm wanting to see this show go somewhere, but it just doesn't feel like it. Just kind of looks like it's got like that John Travolta meme where he's like looking around like, what's going
Yeah, he's
on?
like
It kind of feels like where the show is going. I mean, it ended so strong at season 1, and then it like now they're finally getting there at like episode whatever this is, 9.
Yeah.
So they need to figure out what they're doing with that.
Yeah, the Sabersmiths on YouTube says I want more Crosshair.
Yeah, yeah, he's an interesting character, and nothing's happened. Like, I mean, we saw a little bit of him, but they got to get there sooner.
Yeah, I mean, I think the sentiment also is maybe they should condense the story every season, kind of like with the Mandalorian, and have 8 episodes and have it really nice and tight. But I mean, how many episodes is it? Like 16? It's like 2 seasons of what we're kind of used to in live action.
Yeah, I mean, I see what you're saying there, because like so many of these episodes just feel like filler episodes, like that there's,
Yeah.
I don't know, it feels like this is turning into the A Team or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They should just have like an A Team style intro. Ding, ding, ding. It's like Wrecker as BA, what was it? BA
B.A. Baracus.
Baracus. Hunter as Face. And just do that. And they just go around the galaxy like helping people. You know what I mean? It feels
Yeah.
like that's kind of what the show is becoming most of the time.
Yeah. So, did you see the news about the films today?
Yes, supposedly the two films that were discussed are now.
Yeah.
But who are these people? Like, is this a reputable source at all? That's a horrible picture of Chewbacca, by the way. That must
Finn
be.
almost looks like an action figure.
Is that from The Last Jedi? Is that why?
Possibly.
Or
I don't
maybe
know.
that Rise of Skywalker, the beginning of the film.
Yeah. So yeah, Craig, the source is Variety. So
Oh, so they're reputable.
yeah,
I mean,
and
right?
they're claiming this is an exclusive story that they had.
Wow. I mean, and they always do the film shoots with Lucasfilm, or at least they had. And so I would think they wouldn't want to ruin that relationship by releasing this story.
Yep.
Disney just, they need to find a way to get people at Lucasfilm, somebody at Lucasfilm doing PR where they just discuss this stuff.
Maybe you can hire this guy.
Yeah.
What's up, James?
Not much. Why wouldn't you want to hire me? What's wrong?
I hire no one that likes Last Jedi.
Fair enough.
Never. Never,
I'll
James.
never join you. So what did I miss? What else are we talking about right now?
Well, we were talking about how this is ridiculous, this 3 a.m. nonsense. It's got to go.
Well, what would you prefer?
9 o'clock, 8 o'clock, 8 o'clock. So kids can stay up and watch it with their dad.
Fair enough. You're right, because it is kind of like, I don't know, only the crazy people will stay up late and watch it at this time, you know?
Guilty.
It's exhausting. I took a nap for a little bit tonight. I was like, I can't. I'm so tired.
I might not even watch it tonight. I might, after we're like, after we record this, I might just go to bed. Jesus, what happened to James's face? He shaved. Ouch. Ouch. That's the meanest reaction I've ever. Oh my gosh. But no, y'all were talking about the Lucasfilm, the stuff that's been happening lately. With, well, I mean, today, yeah, Kevin Feige and Pat. I mean, we all knew Patty Jenkins. She was done the moment Wonder Woman 1984 came out.
That movie was a disaster, by the way.
That movie was horrible. It was awful. It was like,
It was so bad.
and I had a lot of hope in that movie because I did enjoy Wonder Woman. I thought
Me
Wonder
too.
Woman
It's
was a
crazy.
great movie.
The first one, and the first one was so good.
Yes. I was like, oh, here we go. And the second one started, I was kind of like, okay. And then, like, I forget where it was in the first act. I just looked at my wife. I was like, oh, this is not a good movie. This is
It was
bad.
Mm.
And but the Kevin Feige thing, my explanation of why Kevin Feige is not doing a Star Wars movie is I think he backed away a little bit too much from Jesus Christ. I think he backed away a little too much from Marvel. I think he was focusing a little bit on a few other things besides Marvel. Because some of those reports came out that Blade was going to go into production and he hadn't even read the script. Like he had to stop the production from happening like a couple of weeks so they could rewrite the script. And it's like, what were you doing, man? Like why weren't you there to see this all the way through, you know?
That's an
And with
old Kathleen Kennedy maneuver there.
yeah, exactly. With like
With Lord
Solo,
and Miller. Yeah.
especially with Solo, yeah, that was in production when she was like, wait a second. So yeah, it's really funny that these top guys, you know, Feige and Kennedy, have a lot to do, and then it's like, oh yeah, by the way, you have to make these movies while you're running the business, and it seems like both of them have just so much to do. They need like the head, and then they need the creative of media, which of course we know that Filoni is that for Lucasfilm right now, but I think Feige was kind of doing it all on his own there for a bit with all of that, Avengers and everything.
And
And
Marvel is a mess right now.
yeah, Marvel's not good right now. Like I liked Shang-Chi. I thought Shang-Chi was amazing. Parts of Eternals was pretty great. Did not like Doctor Strange. Did not like Thor: Love and Thunder. Don't even want to watch Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania.
But I've heard such bad things about it that I'm like,
Yeah, I think Feige is stepping back from whatever else. Like maybe it was his Star Wars movie, and I think he's got to focus solely on trying to get Marvel back to the glory days of when Civil War came out, or when the first Guardians of the Galaxy, or even when the first Avengers came out. How great of a moment that was,
yeah.
But
This phase has just been all over the place, and I didn't even really like Black Panther 2 that much.
yeah, I've heard people say they weren't too crazy about that one.
There were parts to the story that I really enjoyed, but it was just, to me, way too much CGI and special effects. It was just so over the top, corny. I was just like, "What are you doing?" Feels like
Yeah,
I liked a little element of feeling grounded in reality, not completely crazy nonsense stuff.
Yep. Yeah, I agree. I've heard that about some of the Marvel movies that are coming out now as well. Is just doesn't feel like the Marvel that we all loved, and so just wait. I think Kevin Feige is going back, and these movies are going to start to get a little bit better going forward. But in doing that, we lose him from Star Wars. But we gain Taika Waititi starring in his own Star Wars movie. Is that what?
Like he's pulled a trick on Lucasfilm. Like he's pulled the rug right under him. Oh, by the way, I'll be starring in this movie. Wait, what?
That's no, that's bad. I mean, don't get me wrong. Jojo Rabbit is an amazing movie all the way through. He knows what he's doing, but lately he like Thor: Love and Thunder. He just didn't even care about it, and it's like what? So if he brings the same amount of attention and love and care as he did to Jojo Rabbit to Star Wars, I think it would be really, really great. But I don't know. I'm a little uneasy about Taika doing that. And plus, starring in it, like not a cameo, like being in the like no, that's a little
Yeah,
ridiculous for me.
I'll tell you, I wouldn't mind Craig Mazin from Last of Us working on something,
They
because
might they might be working on something. I don't know.
he's I mean, he did Chernobyl too, the miniseries on HBO, which was incredible too.
Yeah, that was amazing. That
Is
was awesome.
Let him do something a bit darker with Star Wars. like kind of what I mean with The Last of Us and Chernobyl. Those two have been like towards the top of my list.
A Plagueis film.
I
There
bet
you go.
You know, I don't know how well he knows the Star Wars universe or whatnot, but
It's not that hard to learn about Plagueis these days. Simple
True.
read.
pull it off. So why would?
And it's a big part of that story that Palpatine tells at the opera in Revenge of the Sith. I mean, it's canon. It's right there, right in the old Skywalker saga. So yeah, we've been talking about all these live action movie projects they should have already kind of made or should be in production. I mean, a Skywalker film of some sort during this time period in The Mandalorian where he's prime Skywalker, a Cal Kestis film or trilogy. The Plagueis thing, I mean, that could be a film or trilogy. I mean, there's so much stuff. All the expanded universe stuff, you can make that. To take the books that are now canon, the Aftermath trilogy, Lost Stars. I mean, make those into films. I mean, the stuff is all there. You don't have to have Taika make up something from scratch and you don't know what's going to become of it when you have a built-in fan base from original Star Wars, and then the people that have read the book are going to automatically tell the other people that they know that haven't read the book, it's a great book. It's probably going to be pretty good. And then you're going to have that built-in audience even more so to go see these films. And I mean, it's all there for the taking.
It's a slam dunk, as David always says. It's a slam dunk for Lucasfilm to do these things, but
yeah,
they're just scared. That's all it is. They're just scared. And so our first movie is coming out in 2025, right? Oh, hello, hi.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. 2025.
6 years from the last film.
Hey, that's a better gap than Revenge of the Sith and Force Awakens. I'll say that much.
Yeah, but we didn't have TV shows in between too. So
true. But we had Clone Wars. But not everybody was on board for Clone Wars.
Yeah.
Clone Wars is so crazy because like it was big for the fans who really, really watched it, but then over the years it's just grown even more. Like more and more people are jumping on the Clone Wars. And yeah, I think that's
I mean,
that sounds really funny.
It was a great series. I mean, some of those episodes were just absolutely incredible. I mean, better than the new sequel trilogy, in my opinion.
I remember there was an episode. I always go back to the episode where the Republic and the Separatists have to go to the banking clan to take out more loans to fund the war and not raise the interest rate on the loans that they've already taken out. And it was fascinating as hell. Like I was like, whoa. And then there was a whole like kidnapping plot. And I'm like, they did a whole episode about loans and how important it is to take loans out to fund a war. And it's something you don't even think about. And you're like, yeah, how are they paying for this? And they made it interesting. Like, what the hell was that all about, man? So I always like that episode. That's such a great episode. But
I remember which one it was off the top of my head.
Yeah, we got a lot of comments here in chat here.
Do something here. So
Saber Smith says, I'm hearing that season 3 is already in the works, so who knows how this season will end.
Very true. I mean, we have to get whatever happens in this season has to make way for Ahsoka, in my opinion. I think whatever happens has to go into Ahsoka's series. So that's exciting. I wonder if Plo Koon survived Order 66. I mean, he can't survive in the vacuum of space. I mean, he blew up.
Well, I mean, you think about it, if IG-11 could have a thermal detonator in his chest and like him mostly be intact, his head and his chest. Like, how's his chest not like in pieces?
Yeah, I'll tell you what, that explosion looked like he pretty much like melted away and disintegrated immediately. But so it's like, I wish I'd go back and fix the explosion and make it didn't look like he would have it looks like there would have been anything left. And there he is, all of his pieces.
I would have been okay if like Din Djarin is like, hey, I want to put IG-11, and then Carl Weathers is like, are you kidding? Look at him. He's like, we barely pieced him together with what we found. He's like, I think we can make this work. And if they would have found a way to him leave and then come back in like 8 or 9, like at the end of the season, and IG-11 is like back, I would have believed that a lot more than he's almost completely intact. And he's like, all right, now he's connected to power. Let's go. And it was like, but you can argue IG-11 was able to take a lot of hits and not be completely damaged. Like he was able to take some hits, some of those blaster shots, and it didn't really affect him. So
my big problem is just the explosion.
Yeah, it's big.
And versus where his body was, it doesn't line. I got to go back and look at that explosion because
you better hurry before they switch it, man. Before Lucasfilm goes in there, they do a special edition explosion.
Yeah,
well, yeah. Sometimes the budget feels a bit low, so it'll probably be like a little firecracker.
What did the Sabres? I'm not really sure how I feel about Kevin Feige doing a Star Wars film. I'm down for him doing a Star Wars film. I think Kevin Feige would do a great Star Wars film. But unfortunately, the guy is just insanely busy. Like it was cool to hear that he was on board, but then at the same time, I think even we were talking like, how has he got to have time to do that and hold Marvel, like, and to do all the Marvel movies? And yeah, I don't know. If Taika was to voice an alien, I'd be happy with that. It is. Oh yeah, no. I mean, that's what we were all kind of hoping for. If Taika, like, he would voice an alien, but he's already the voice of IG-11, so it's like, I don't know.
Yeah.
The last thing I heard about Cal Kestis was no live action until the game is done. And I do believe there is one more game after Surprise. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I do believe it's going to be a trilogy of games, and then hopefully we get a film or a show or something.
So they're playing the long game on this one, huh? They're got to release this game this year, wait another 2 years, and then release the next one, and then maybe we'll get a movie. Yeah. They better hurry up. He's not old, but he's not young, but he's not old. You know what I mean? Like he'll be probably in his 30s or something by that time.
Yeah. Hey, Miss Sunflower. She says hey to the Sabersmith.
Oh.
She waved.
Oh, well, how nice.
Hey, and let's drink some beers. More beers.
I like that. I like that we can bring people together with us talking about Star Wars. That makes me happy. Yeah. So how long is this episode going to be tonight, David?
I think it's going to be in. What'd you say, Craig?
16 seconds. It's just flipping on the power on IG-11, and he's like, "What up, hoes?" And then
it's funny because I was like, I have to wake up really early tomorrow. I might skip Mandalorian, but then I started thinking, well, it's only gonna be like 22 minutes long. Like I could watch it, no big deal.
It's true.
That's the biggest like critique. I mean, there's a lot of critiques of Mandalorian, but that's the biggest one. Is the length of these shows is laughable. I think Bad Batch, the last episode of Bad Batch, was almost as long as this last episode of Mandalorian, and it's like, really?
We waited 2 years for that episode, and I'm not knocking it, but it couldn't have been 10 minutes longer.
I agree. Yeah, it felt like. Oh.
I was gonna say Miss Sunflower says 42 minutes without credit, so that's pretty long.
All right, okay, I'll give him that. That's a good length of an episode. But then you watch House of the Dragon, you're like, that was a 58. That was an hour and 7 minute long episode, and
it averaged an hour, which was great. It was fantastic.
I did not like that show at all. I am at 11%. I can't stay much longer. You have a
I'm
charger?
low too.
Maybe Dark Waters at work.
I'm at
Oh,
50%.
I see. I'm at 51%.
I
What
charged
are you
the
at,
wrong.
David?
Nice.
For some reason,
I'm currently at 100% because I'm charging.
I didn't realize to start so early and want to do 2 hours, David.
Yeah, I started recording or podcasting like at 10 o'clock my time. This is the second pre-show that I'm doing for the podcast.
Oh my god!
That's a lot of pre-show. It's a lot of it's a lot.
And
Hey,
people
stop
are
it.
only want to watch the after show because they're gonna be like, "What'd you say about the episode?"
There's a lot of pomp and circumstance here. But yeah, we talked about a lot of stuff. We talked about a little bit about Celebration. The panels were dropped today. There's going to be another Lucasfilm panel. There's going to be an Ahsoka panel that we think that we're going to get some type of footage or a trailer or something. There's going to be a 40th anniversary Return of the Jedi panel hosted by Ming-Na Wen.
Woohoo.
There's going to be a villains panel with Andy Serkis, Ian McDermott, and Gwendolyn Christie. There's going to be a 15th year anniversary Clone Wars panel with everyone that we all know that's there. Basically, all the voices, all the big time voices, and I think that's pretty much for all the big ones. They're going to do a cosplay contest, all the typical stuff.
So they'll probably announce Book of Boba Fett at the Lucasfilm panel, then, right?
Oh, they're doing a look back, I believe, of Obi-Wan Kenobi, and I think the popular belief is at the end of that they're going to announce maybe a season 2, possibly. But that's going to be on a Sunday, which is kind of odd. You would think if they're going to have a big splashy announcement, it would be like on a Friday or Saturday.
Yeah, you don't want to do it on Sunday. Everybody's leaving on Sunday.
Yeah,
And plus, you're already having the future look to the future, Lucasfilm thing showcase, if you
Yeah.
may. That's the time to announce it. That's the time to announce your Kenobi season
Right.
2, your Boba Fett season 2. A look back though is interesting. I wonder how that's gonna go.
Looking back, they'll go, "What were we thinking?" Those mopeds were horrible.
Oh no, that was Book of Boba Fett, right? Book of Boba Fett season
Yeah.
2, right? Or Book of Boba Fett, yeah. The moped chase was that was horrible. And I'm like, you mean Robert Rodriguez, who directed, Desperado, Sin City, couldn't think of an exciting car chase? You know what I mean? Like, it's just.
And the stupid gang was so ridiculous. These modders were so.
The Mod Squad.
Gosh, they were awful. We could have had Bosk and all these IG-11 Zuckus Forlom running around. Instead, we got this guy who stepped out of the gap spinning around
with the pea shooter.
It was like, what is this?
It was a little rough, but hey, we
have to watch a scene where Boba Fett goes to the window to watch his dad fly away. It's like there was no new footage every time we saw it.
Yeah, Miss Sunflower says she just finished watching the first pre-show with General Kenobi. Thank you so much for watching that. It was a lot of fun.
You. That's awesome.
Oh my gosh!
Thank you for sticking with us and just hearing us talk about Star Wars and hearing us complain also about Star Wars. But you know what? We still love it. But if Book of Boba Fett gets a season 2, I'm gonna watch it like I'm doing Mandalorian. Like I'm gonna watch it at 11:50 to see what's gonna happen. And
he's gonna get a job at a bank or something.
I hope Crosshair hunts on the bat and brings. Yeah, Bad Batch is getting intense right now. Like there's these last few episodes, I was like, oh man, it's gonna start to get pretty good. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see how Bad Batch goes.
So Derpy Entertainment.
What's up?
Says he can't wait for Disney-fied Mando. And Craig, he wants to hear your Mickey voice.
Oh boy!
There you go.
Whoa.
Miss Sunflower says Vespa Gang. Yep. I kind of liked them. I mean, it was kind of shocking how slow they were like going, but
Yeah, that was bad.
Oh,
Like the chase started, and I was like, "Oh, this is gonna be cool going through the streets of." And I was like, "Wait, why are they going 5 miles an hour right now through the streets
it
of
was
Tatooine?"
it was like it just always I can think of all I can think of is a Seinfeld episode where George gets chased by the old people on the little scooter on the rascal. And he's like going like 1 mile an hour. It's awful. I'm sorry, but it felt very low budget to me for some reason.
yeah.
No, I agree. It did not feel good. Hello, good evening, guys. Good afternoon here in the Philippines. Thank you for watching us from the Philippines. The first episode of Mandalorian season 3 was epic. I can't wait to watch chapter 18. This is the way. All right. Well, thanks for joining us from the Philippines. What time is it in the Philippines right now? I don't know time zones at all. Like, so I don't know what time it is in the Philippines right now. So hopefully he'll answer us and
Probably
let us
like
know.
early evening or something.
Yeah, like 5 p.m. equivalent, something like that.
So what's
yeah,
the
thanks.
Go for it.
Yeah, thanks for joining the live stream here. And if you haven't, subscribe, like, comment. We appreciate
Yes,
it.
please. What's the time difference from here in London? Is it 11 hours, 12 hours?
No, well, for me, it's like they're 6 hours ahead. For you,
Okay.
where are you at? Are you in California?
Yes.
All right, so I guess it's 9 hours ahead for you, I think.
Yeah.
Man, so that's gonna be kind of weird texting y'all and y'all texting us, letting us know what's happening. Looking forward to high-fiving David at Celebration. That's
Oh,
pretty
yeah.
cool. That's so cool.
Craig, you going to Celebration or what?
I'm not going this time. I am not going.
Boo.
I was on the fence,
Yeah.
but it's a bit frustrating, like to travel so far, and it's like you don't know if you're even going to get into a panel, or you know what I mean.
Unless I'm there, you can get into a panel.
Yeah.
No,
So,
I'm okay. What we got here?
Yeah, Miss Sunflower says if I can make it out of Attack of the Clones, The Book of Boba Fett, and The Rise of Skywalker, I can make it out of anything in Star Wars. That's a great attitude.
Attack of the Clones, man. Those first 2 acts, I'm like, come on. But then once the third act hits and once they're in the arena, I'm like, oh, this is a cool movie. But everything before that, I'm like, oh my gosh.
12 minutes of 3PO getting chased around the droid factory. 12 minutes.
You'll never get it back.
That was George Lucas just saying, I need an action sequence here. And he just wrote that action sequence. Because they shot a whole scene of her coming down and then Dooku and Padme having a conversation, and then they get captured, and then it's the arena. So yeah, they had to do a whole. I wanted more Boba Fett's Rancor. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie though, seeing him riding the Rancor was a pretty dope image. That was really good. Disney Plus just launched in the Philippines last year. Good grief.
Yeah.
339 in the Philippines right now. Wow. So is that 339 yesterday or tomorrow?
Like right now.
Just kidding. Just
Oh. So Chris says 7:40. I think it's AM, right? Yeah.
And right now I am at 11:40 p.m. right now in the Pacific Coast. It's weird, right? Time zones are weird. But yeah, so yeah, David is going to do his best to live stream the panels while he's there. Hopefully, he doesn't get in trouble by any of the security there at Celebration.
I don't know how you that off.
Well, people did it. Like people at Anaheim were doing it, and it's weird because when I was in the room, those guys were walking up and down the aisles like, "Hey, put your phone down. Put your like everybody put your phone down. Put your phone down." So I don't know, David. I'm gonna see how you do your thing, man.
May I suggest you cut a hole in your shirt, have it pressed up against your chest, or tape your phone to your chest, cut a hole by the camera.
Yep, right there.
Or get those like Google glasses, right? And they got like the camera and just like
They still make those? Those
I
goes
think they
far.
make a new version of them.
He just walks in with an
Did those
Oculus.
ever come out? I didn't even think they ever came out.
And just say, these are my corrective lenses.
But yeah, I'm I and then we found out there might not be a lottery system, which that's
Yeah,
good
that
news.
I think it that might just be kind of like a hopeful rumor that I heard mention of like a reservation system or something. So I don't know. It's the
So
lottery thing.
to know what you're gonna get or anything?
I mean, it's if they continue the same way as last time, we have like 3 chances to win the lottery because there was like 3 different ticket purchases we made on the podcast. So hopefully it works out. So
Yeah, I hope y'all get at least 1 or 2 of these things because I
Yeah.
can imagine Colin losing his mind if he doesn't get a panel. Like literally losing his mind if he doesn't get a panel.
Yeah.
And yeah. And I'm not gonna lie, I'd be pretty upset too if I flew all the way to London just for them to be like, "Oh yeah, you're not gonna get a panel, and we're not gonna live stream it to any of the other into any of the other rooms."
Yeah. So buying custom content, Uwu says, "Don't be bad and get in trouble, Uwu."
Well, David,
Cut a hole in the shirt, Uwu.
What is Uwu?
David,
I mean, it sounds like a good idea. You just stick your phone. Boom.
David will be live streaming even while he's being escorted. No, he's gonna leave the phone. Colin will just take it and just keep.
Look, you get some double-sided sticky tape. One on the phone, one on your chest. Press it up there. Cut a hole right in the shirt. You got a good shot.
Interesting. Huge Bob
Sounds
the
like-
Frick fan up here. Little Fricker, what's up?
With Darth Vader chest protector, you mount the phone inside the Darth Vader chest protector.
I think that's the winner right there. I think that's how you do it. Little Fricker,
Yeah.
Babu Frick.
One of the little red buttons, you push it in, and the phone comes out.
Even
So,
has the sound. What are the confirmed panels for Star Wars Celebration?
Let's see. There are quite a few. If you go on the official Star Wars Celebration website, you click on Explore the Show, click on Panels and Screenings, and if you just check on the box that says Panel, there are a bunch. The big ones we mentioned earlier on the podcast. So it all starts with the Lucasfilm Studio Showcase panel. That's going to be streamed at different stages: London Calling, designing Star Wars productions in the UK, the making of Andor season 1, which I'm pretty sure they might have something for season 2 to be shown. That's at 3 p.m. on Friday. That's going to be streamed in multiple stages. Then Ahsoka Saturday at 11 a.m. That's the big one for that day.
That's going to be huge.
Yeah, Bringing Worlds to Life, the concept artist of ILM, which is great. Doug Chain, Clayton Sandell. We'll interview him from, I believe, ABC. There's going to be a Star Wars The High Republic panel on Saturday. 40 Years of Return of the Jedi. We kind of talked about that. It's going to be hosted by Ming-Na Wen, which is kind of interesting. Star Wars Creator Cosplay Workshop. Star Wars Young Jedi Adventure Screening. Hasbro Star Wars and Indiana Jones panel for Hasbro. Creature Cantina. Clone Wars 15-year anniversary panel. Clone Wars. Another stream to a different stage. Villains of the sequel trilogy. That's one I think I might want to attend. It's going to have Andy Serkis, Ian McDermott, Gwendolyn Christie on stage.
Yeah, that's the one I would be like, I'm going to this one. Yeah. I am breaking into that one to see because that sounds amazing.
Yeah.
It'd be the Lucasfilm and the Ahsoka one.
Yeah, that Ahsoka one's gonna be great. What I hope they do not do is I hope they don't show a trailer, and then I hope they don't show the trailer and then be like, and y'all are not gonna, no one else is gonna see the trailer for like another 5 months.
Yeah, well, James. That's exactly what's going to happen.
And, you know, even though it wasn't big, but they did that for Tales of the Jedi. They showed us the trailer, and it was so cool. And I was like, oh my gosh, can't wait to show everybody. And then they didn't drop it until like 3 or 4 months later, the same trailer. So, yeah.
Yeah. Behind the Magic, the visual effects of Andor, which be pretty cool to see. Hyperspace Stories, Dark Horse Comics returns. Interesting. A look back at Obi-Wan Kenobi on Sunday at 1:30 p.m. Funko Collect Across the Galaxy cosplay competition on Sunday. Disney Parks, where Star Wars comes to life. That's also on Sunday, 4 p.m. Beyond the Spires, making of the Tales from Galaxy's Edge. They always do a VR thing at Celebration now. Star Wars Animation Game Night. Lucasfilm Publishing, Stories from a Galaxy Far, Far Away. Star Wars The Bad Batch. That's streaming to multiple stages. You're going to get everyone from the director, executive producer. Pretty much the same lineup as last year's Celebration. Marvel Comics. From Screen to Tabletop, Star Wars Visions Volume 2. I want to attend this one. I kind of want to get the preview of what we're going to get on May 4th. Star Wars Galaxy Size Collected in a Micro World of Jazzwares. Doug Chain designing Obi-Wan Kenobi and The Mandalorian. That's another one that I want to go to.
Oof.
Yeah. Then the closing ceremony will be at 4 o'clock on Monday, and that is it.
Where they will say, and we'll see you the next time.
I wonder why they already announced that they're not going to do one next year. Why wouldn't they?
Yeah.
So
They need to
people
announce
don't
a
get
location.
disappointed.
Yeah.
Well, we all know where it's going to be, right?
Orlando?
I think it's going to be in a certain spot. Yeah, we think it's Orlando.
Yeah, that's our biggest. Yeah, Orlando will be pretty cool because, and plus Disney World's right there. They're going to want people to go to Galaxy's Edge again, like they did here at Disneyland. And oh yeah, all those Star Wars night tickets gone, sold out completely for this year. So,
but they
was gonna
Disney World this year or Hollywood Studios. It's only at Disneyland, right?
What, Star Wars night?
Yeah.
It's only at Disneyland, and they sold out already here. So yeah, I'm not gonna be able to go. I thought I would go. Take my wife and we go try out all the cool food, but yeah, it's already sold out. So I'm still gonna sneak in though. Don't worry. Strange opinion here, but I think Cara Dune should be brought back. She's a great character. Forget the drama with Gina. Let us have her good character back.
She was a good character. I wouldn't say she's a great character.
But they made it make sense why she's not there, which, you know what I mean? Like they acknowledged, oh, she's not here because she did this, and you're kind of like, oh, okay, well, that's how they're gonna get rid of her. And yeah, a little. It would be neat if they incorporate her character in some kind of animated story, and then we could see her. Oh, okay, I see what you mean. Yeah. Oh, I think it's here. I think this episode's there. Yep.
Yeah.
If you go to Disney Plus now, when you click on Star Wars,
how many minutes?
But if you click on it, it's not playing.
Well, yeah, because everyone else, 44 minutes it says.
Okay.
And let me see if it's playing. Yep, there it goes. There's a Disney logo.
All right, and with that,
I just saw something. All right.
Oh shoot.
We'll do another show then when we're done.
Yeah, we'll do a post show, guys. So everyone here, if you want to come back and get our thoughts, just come back right after the show. We'll be here.
Right. May the force be with you.
Always.